Hey! What? So, some of you might already know, but just like a lot of you, I grew up with the Need for Speed series, specifically around the Underground to the Most Wanted era. Of course, I tipped my toes into the older games like Hot Pursuit and Porsche Unleashed, but the open world and customization we had on the PS2 era opened my eyes into what was really possible with video games. It wasn't just a straight path that you could walk with the same cars everyone used. You can make your own car. You could express yourself in any way you could imagine. Millions of combinations right there in your PS2. And you might be asking yourself, but Blue Tag, what does this have to do with today's video? And to that, my fellow viewer, I say nothing. Today's video isn't even about Need for Speed, it's about Flatout. Flatout is a game I never really got into. Believe it or not, I'm pretty sure the only Flatout game I played before making this video was Flatout 4. And I didn't understand why so many people love this series so much. But again, I didn't care enough to look it up. I used to be the type of people that, if things aren't on my radar, they are probably not worth checking. And with that being said, since I started the channel, people always kept asking me to make a video on it. But it's a lot of pressure having to talk about a game that so many people love so deeply and I really don't like. Hell, I feel bad when I talk about games like 3 Extreme and people tell me in the comments they loved that game. I'm so sorry, Pussy Master XX21. But today's the day that I grab my big boy pants and give my baby nipple away. Because god damn it, I bought every single Flatout game. Well, at least the ones that were on Steam. So no more talking, let's talk about Flatout. The original Flatout was a game developed by Bugbear Entertainment and released in 2004. It's a demolition derby-like racing game with made-up cars and an emphasis on physics. And from what I've seen, there was nothing like it before it came out, unless you count Destruction Derby on the PS1. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure some of you will, but physics like this were far from standard, if not unheard of at the time. It was actually really cool to go back and see a game so old with physics that are sometimes unmatched, even today. Not saying every game needs to be like this, obviously not, but it is something I didn't even know I missed. And yeah, I know Wreckfest exists, but honestly I have my own fair share of problems with that game. You have no story here. You start your career by picking a car that runs as fast as your mom, pick a race, and do exactly that. You have some pretty basic graphics for 2004. Not super amazing and not bad either, besides the damage models in the car. Every time you crash into someone, or something, your car gets damaged in the exact place you hit it. So if someone hits the back of your car in the right side, only the right side will be damaged, and so on. It's really cool to see, and I actually kinda wanted to see how bad it could get. The game also has minigames like long jump, where you have to send your character flying as far as possible from inside the car. I didn't understand that one at first. But I'll be honest here, I'll skip these because I simply don't find it very fun. It's there if you like it, good addition and all, but just not for me. Oh, actually, fun fact, I also don't like the crashing minigame in Burnout. Sue me. It has a pretty good soundtrack, no bands that I knew of, but I can definitely see this being stuck with someone who played this as a kid. This happened to all of us. How many of you actually knew Styles of Beyond before playing Most Wanted? But still, even though I doubt they will stick with me, I can definitely see why so many people like these ones. The gameplay though feels so satisfying. It's crazy how they made simply making a turn in this game so enjoyable. I'm usually not that much of a fan of rally and derby, but yeehaw! The driving in this game is great. There are some minor things to nitpick, like how hard it is to get nitros in this game. You have to hit opponents or simply random stuff you find in the track, but because of the physics, everything slows you down so much that your best bet is to avoid it. Nitros is extremely strong though, but it's not worth it because how punished you are for crashing. But again, the core gameplay here is really great, and I was really interested to see how its sequel would be. Could it actually be better? Not gonna lie, my first impressions of this one weren't the best. Fun fact, I'm playing the PC ports of these games, and old games can usually be a little problematic on PC. I used a widescreen fix like I usually do in every game so you don't have to look at a super stretched game, but this one just looked wrong. I played for a few minutes and using nitros was giving me a headache. It was clear to me that it wasn't the game's fault, so I just took it off. And what I can say is, this is one of the best racing games ever made. Period. I lost about an hour of footage after removing the widescreen fix, and I still ended up with 3 hours of footage when I just wanted to play each game for about an hour. And I still plan on playing this after finishing this video. While the first game was more like a physics engine with racetracks and cars, this one felt way more like an arcade game first that also has great physics. It reminded me a lot of Burnout for some reason. Maybe just because of the focus on crashing, but they're very different in what they do. This game focuses on the nitros a little bit more. Things don't slow you down as much and you can get boosts from jumping. So it's easier to build nitros, but it's not nearly as strong as in the original game. Not that nitros is the complete focus of this game. It is, of course, on the racing. And let me tell you, while this does feel way different than the original, it is really, really good. Making others crash and even seeing yourself crash in this game feels very satisfying. I would argue that it's slow in the beginning because your car is way faster than the other racers, and if anything I would advise you to not upgrade your car at first. Just so you can race with the other cars around you instead of behind you all the time. Oh, and let me tell you, there's an option for surround audio in this game. Turn it on. Hearing a car coming faster from behind you and flipping him as soon as he tries to overtake you is such a great feeling. I really cannot express to you how satisfying this game is, and I'm ashamed to never have played it before. Oh, and about the audio? This one has some music you might know. Rob Zombie, Rise Against, Papa Roach, Nickelback. After a while though, you get tracks in the city too, which for me felt kind of off. You stop using the old derby cars for sports cars and it feels way more like a Burnout game in my opinion. It feels a bit too easy to take people out and you spin around easier. It just wasn't my cup of tea. I like the dirty roads way better than this, which is interesting considering my history on racing games. But again, I can't complain about the game giving me more content. It's there if you like it, and if you don't have to play it. I also cheated in this game. Don't worry, if you're under the age of 18 you might not know this, but there was a time where developers made cheat codes that you could use in games to unlock things that you wouldn't be able to normally use. Kinda like DLCs, but they didn't ask for your credit card. I jumped to the ending of the game and it's simply insane how fast this game gets. I could barely control my car, and again, this is probably more for fun than part of the actual gameplay, so it was pretty fun. It's always nice to mess around like that. But as you know, everything that's good must come to an end, just like this video. People have been telling me ever since the beginning how terrible this game was, and how it was the worst rated game on Steam. Well, joke's on you. The worst rated game on Steam right now is War of the Three Kingdoms. Flatout 3 is the second worst. When I saw the screenshots of this game, I thought to myself, it looks like they put in some exaggerated filters and went a bit too unrealistic with the cars, so maybe that's why people didn't like it. I know that fan bases can be pretty annoying when a game isn't exactly what they wanted. I'm a Halo fan myself, but I really couldn't be any further from the truth. Buying this game feels like someone made a joke on you when you were 10 and you still randomly remember it 20 years later before sleeping. It is truly painful. The first thing I noticed in this game is that there's simply no career mode. You have like 10 different modes and spoiler alert, none of them are good. I picked race instead of closing the game because I didn't know any better, and weirdly enough, I had a lot of cars to pick from. I don't know if there's unlockables, but I don't think so and I don't care enough to look it up. Here's the weirdest part though, you can pick your character in this one, and every character has a bio saying who they are and what they want. Eva likes to spend money. More accurately, she likes to spend a lot of money she doesn't have. Right now, winning Flatout is the only possible way she can repay her debt within this lifetime. Alright, so we're pulling a Twisted Metal, huh? I wonder how that could ever go wrong. Okay, that's not good. Apparently after Flatout 2, the rights for the series were bought by another publisher, which then decided to pass the torch to Team 6, which is a developer that you may know for amazing titles like Road Rage, Super Streets, the game, and Taxi 3 Extreme Rush. Wait, who the hell keeps hiring these guys? This is no doubt one of the worst games I've ever played, easily. Forget everything you knew about Flatout so far. This game throws everything out the window and has no care for what you think the series were supposed to be. It's like I'm playing a game that you would see Jimmy from GTA 5 play. I won't keep rambling for too long, but what you should know is that Team 6 made a Nintendo Wii version of Flatout, which was already bad, and they basically copy and pasted the same version and made it worse. The game even has a zombie mode, where your objective is to hit zombies. What is this game? The physics are inexistent. The cars look like they have less polygons than Woody Woodpecker Racing. And the audio? I can't even show you because the game was so bad that OBS refused to record it. All I have is this 20 minutes of video footage of my car doing nothing because I passed out. I mean it when I say it. Do not get this game. Ever. This is a case of a game being so bad it's not even funny. And even if this game was free, it would still be $100 too expensive. Moving on. After the total insanity that was Flatout 3, they got someone else to develop Flatout 4, which was already impressive because I wouldn't believe a company could stand after something like that. But not only that, hear me out, they have their own website where they sell all of the Flatout games. Yeah, because that's a company you could trust with your credit card information. But as you might imagine, my hopes for this game weren't the highest. However, this one just made me sad. The UI, the soundtrack, the graphics, the cars, the game everything is fine. But that's it. It's just fine. And not even for a Flatout game, it's just fine for a racing game. It really seems like the developers of this one actually made an attempt at it, but simply didn't understand what exactly made the originals good. Like giving someone who played games in the 80s a controller and expecting him to know how to play Fortnite. Okay, that might be a stretch, but you get what I'm saying, right? Most of the time I spent with this game was just this. Nothing. And even when I went back and tried crashing into other cars, they just seemed to ignore me, and trust me, it doesn't feel anywhere near as fun as the second one. The physics are simply not it, and the damage to the cars look worse than what they did a decade before. Actually, one interesting thing, the developers of this game are developing Test Drive, the new one. So I guess we'll see how that one will end up looking. But yeah, I guess that's it for this series. And I don't even mean as in my videos on it are over, but the series itself. After whatever 3 was and 4 not being anything special, I doubt we'll ever see another Flatout game. But again, I believe most of you who are fans of the series rather not have it unless the original developers have something to do with it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. And if you did, make sure you leave a like. It really helps me a lot. Oh, and of course a huge thank you to Solifew. He's the one who made the character I'm using right now, so please go check out his work. I'm gonna leave a link in the description. And of course a huge thank you for our new members. Jumpbase and Speedy's Retired. Thank you guys so much. Being a member truly helps me a lot, so really thank you. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.